Hello everyone and welcome to the Hylian Gamescast episode 102. We have two guests here with us. Mo Chocolate returning.
Simple and clean is the way that you making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. Hello.
And for the first time on the podcast, but returning to the channel, we have HMK, our special guest for the day.
What is good, Jesse? It is good to be back. It's been far too long, and I see people in the chat like, yo, is that HMK? I'm like, nah, that's
Yeah. No, this is his long-lost clone.
Right.
I'm
HMK's nobody. It's not me. No. But
you guys can...
what's up? What is good? Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, today we're going to be discussing our ideas on how we think Breath of the Wild 2 may begin, what the overall story could be, and then how it could possibly end. A while back, HMK actually had some really good video talking about how it could potentially be a Breath of the Wild trilogy.
Ooh. Oh, well, you got to bring that one up.
Yeah, so we can maybe do some plugs for that and do like a quick elevator wrap up of that, and then
yeah, sure, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and right above me, her camera isn't working, but the podcast host, I'm sure all of you are familiar with, the Geek Apprentice. She may be fiddling around with her USB, and it might pop in and out throughout. Hopefully, it'll stay next time it comes on. Not sure what the issue is, but we're going to go ahead without it because we're already about 20.
You know what I look like.
Late, yeah.
I'm the weirdo who looks like she's 15 for some weird reason.
On the
preach.
Edited version, we'll just have gameplay covering up your.
That probably looks better.
It's all good. So, starting out, HMK, being the first time you're on the podcast, we haven't had you before, but you've collaborated on a bunch of videos in the past. So, for those who don't know you that are watching, go ahead and introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what you're about, why they should just love you.
like okay.
Wow.
No, seriously, anytime there is a Nintendo Direct or something big coming, it doesn't even have to be big, it can be just like one of the tiny Smash Bros Directs or tiny Pokemon Directs, whatever they have. It doesn't even have to be like one of the big ones. Anytime that there's anything, you just seem to pull all of the hype from it and get people excited, even if it's the smallest things. One thing I do say on my channel is I hate when people are pretending or acting like they'll do like 4 or 5 different takes on their live reaction to try to get the one they think looks the best to put out there to be excited. But you're one of the few people that whenever I see these videos, it seems natural.
You're genuine.
Like you're genuinely that hyped and excited. So you got some real passion and love for Zelda, Kingdom Hearts, some of the other stuff. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started with the other questions.
Okay, no problem. You just dropped like a huge one on me, but I mean that's cool. That's what's up, guys? It's HMK. You probably, if you watch my channel, you probably heard that one same line like a million times, but that's what I just go back to. And yeah, like Jesse said, I pride myself in being very energetic, very passionate when it comes to video games and stuff like that. And when you see what you see on the channel is what you get when you meet me in real life. I saw a couple of questions on Twitter asking me where do I get all my energy from, and I don't know. I guess I'm very naturally energetic, and I say eccentric, hyped. I love getting hyped about things I care about, when it comes to things like Zelda, Kingdom Hearts, Smash Bros. I just, this is the floodgate to my emotional wall, and I just push it over. It's like, no, this is Smash, what we're talking about. This is Kingdom Hearts. We're getting DLC this Thursday. Banjo-Kazooie is in Super Smash Brothers. We are getting Breath of the Wild. I couldn't believe that Breath of the Wild 2, but, it got announced. But back to what I do on my channel, I do a lot of hype videos. I do videos to try and get your brain pumping. I just like to, tease people's, their thoughts when it comes to how they view Zelda, Kingdom Hearts, Smash Brothers, and try to make them look at video games in perspectives that they would not, normally look at it in a way that will engage a fun conversation, right? I love interacting with fans, or the fandom of the things I care about and stuff. And when it comes to anything like Zelda, Kingdom Hearts, Smash Bros, if you decide to talk to me about that, I will talk your ear off. And to the point I'm like, bro, it's 2 hours, yo, I forgot to eat lunch. I gotta get out of here. But I just love getting hyped up about that kind of stuff. And like Jesse said before, I played around with the notion of the fact that Breath of the Wild 2 could be a sign from Nintendo of a potential Breath of the Wild trilogy, because I really feel that Nintendo hit pay dirt hard with Breath of the Wild, and that I feel that's something that they're not going to let go of anytime soon. And that's what I feel, when it comes to. I mean, I go into a lot more detail. I play around with like story ideas on how a Breath of the Wild trilogy can happen, and a lot more stuff. And I'm kind of freaking out on Twitter because apparently the link I put in for the live stream was a broken link, so I'm trying to fix that as I'm telling you guys that. But
I think you can just do YouTube.com/GameOverJesse/live. I think that one is like a permanent one.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
Live now.
But yeah, while he's doing that, everyone who's a fan of not the podcast videos, but the scripted segments that we do for theories, background, lore, news, stuff like that, if you're interested in anything like that, HMK also has a lot of similar videos on his channel, and he also does a lot of live streams and stuff on Twitch that you can check out, playing through some of the Zelda games, Kingdom Hearts, and some other stuff. So
my friend Brittany is in the chat. Hi, Britt. Typool of Dreams. Love ya.
Okay.
So to just basically starting off with the basic question, how or what inspired you or made you want to tackle that YouTube, like just putting out that first video, because that's a large step for a lot of people. Because
here we go. I have this whatchamacallit, this answer constantly logged into in the back of my head, just in case when people ask it and stuff. So way back in the day, and then here's you're like, whoa, what? Way back in the day, I used to work at a establishment known as a Blockbuster, right? I actually went down with the ship, so that's neat. When I used to work at Blockbuster, a lot of customers would ask me their opinion, like my opinion on certain movies when it comes to action, horror, or drama, suspense, whatever, comedy, and of course the video game section that we had, because I was in charge of that. And a lot of the time when people would ask me questions about that, and I would give them the answers, and they would come back to the store when they either dropped the game or looking for another game. It's like, hey, yo, I really like what you said about that, and do you have any other games you want to recommend? And then I would give them a recommendation, and they would rent it, and blah blah blah. And then a lot of people did that, and that made me feel really good, where I'm like, oh, people like my takes, my gamer takes, when it comes to those video games and whatnot. And then combining that with me, I still watch YouTube a lot, and back in the day, I saw a video by a YouTuber, a YouTuber that you guys might have known as Angry Joe, right? And I love his content and stuff. And of course, 𝐓𝐷. I used to watch 𝐓𝐷 from back in the Newground days. So
awesome
that combined with the notion of like the Blockbuster thing, the Angry Joe thing, the 𝐓𝐷 thing, I was just combined it all in my head, and it came out with the question, if they can do it, why can't I, right? And then the rest is history. That's literally how I got to creating content in the beginning. I put up my first video, and then I kept at it, and then they start blowing up, and here I am. So
yeah, so you've had a lot of success in your channel, and how I came to know you is I think I had like seen some of your videos, but I hadn't clicked on them at the time, and it was when I was first really getting to know, and I was working on a few different videos with the original McIntyre Productions channel, which is one of the channels that inspired me, and he mentioned HMK here. Is like, yeah, if you know, you're a fan of my videos, and if you want to try to collaborate with someone else, you know, you can reach out to him. Maybe he'll do something with you, and you guys can collaborate, and then maybe that'll lead to more people getting to know you and more collaborations and everything, because that's what it's all about. A lot of people look at it whenever they're first starting out as like competition. Like, I'm making a Zelda video, so I have to make it better than this person, so people will watch my videos instead of watching his. But really, you need to look at it as collaborators instead of competition, because
Amen.
it all brings in it just helps out everybody. It brings in more subscribers and more viewers for everyone. So we finally got together. There's been a bunch of videos, and at one point there was a fairly active group we had, the Chamber of Sages, that had at the time probably all of the most popular Zelda content creators on YouTube. We had a lot of varying stuff, but it was mostly the same Zelda theories, news, and everything. We all had our own ways of covering it. But getting back to HMK, when was the first time that you looked at your YouTube views, subscribers, whatever it was, and you're like, oh man, I think I can make this work. Like, this is becoming successful.
Oh man, that story. Okay, so getting personal here. After the Blockbuster thing, I was doing YouTube on the side, and I keep telling anyone who's ever trying to do content creation is that begin it as a hobby, all right? Because it's very risky, a huge gamble, right?
Very.
So I did on the side when I was working at Blockbuster, and then after Blockbuster went, I used to work at a convenience store, and then after I left that, I used to work at Best Buy for a little bit, and this is all when YouTube's on the side. So I'm doing this on the side while I'm working those jobs, of course, because I have bills to pay, finances, blah blah blah. And then after Best Buy, I started working for LG, and as I was working with LG, I started noticing my numbers going higher and higher and higher and higher. And the job that I had with LG was better than than retail, because retail, you have to work long hours. You have to work like at least like probably 4 days a week and stuff, and it doesn't really give you a lot of time to like focus on content creation or whatever. But when I was working with LG, it gave me a more comfortable time frame and flexible schedule in which I poured a little bit more time into YouTube and Twitch. And as the weeks went on, at one point I saw the numbers, and the numbers came back. And this happened. Oh my god. Back when the Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS were being promoted and stuff like that, there was this leak that was happening with Shulk and Bowser Jr. And like an idiot, I decided to cover that and put the footage that leaked out onto the YouTube. Hey guys, check it out, confirmed, blah 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 blah. I was out working at my LG job, and then when I came back home and I looked at my phone, I got a bunch of messages from my content creator friends where they're all like, yo, do you see what Nintendo's doing right now? And I'm like, no. It's like they're going after everyone who covered the leak. So if you put out that leak, take it down now. And I'm like, oh. I get home, I log into YouTube, red, and I'm like,
no.
And then it says
I think I remember.
Yeah, your channel has received a giganto copyright strike. Nintendo actually gave me 2 copyright strikes.
Ooh.
And that was bad. And what happened was that since I got 2 copyright strikes from Nintendo, I tried to appeal it, nothing happened. I lost monetization for 6 months. All right, and then luckily I still had the LG job. I had my savings, and I did a couple of more odd jobs and stuff to stay afloat and whatever. And that was around the time where my numbers were looking pretty good, but not self-sufficient good. And then I went to PAX East that year, and then I was part of a network within Maker Studios that was known as the RPM network. And then I was talking to my manager at the time, where it's like, hey, listen, is there any way that you can help me push my numbers, push the algorithm, blah 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 blah, just help me like try and get to the next step in content creation. So then she sets me up with a meeting with this guy named Musashi. He was within Maker Studios and also part of, if you guys remember, Polaris. Mm-hmm. And then I talked to him, and then he got me in touch with another great fellow named Farid. I love Farid. Farid, wherever you are, the last time I saw you in Rooster Teeth, wherever you are, Farid, I love you. He hooked me up with Farid, and then Farid, we get to talking, and then he looks over my numbers, and he's like, oh, I've been watching your content, blah, blah, blah. I didn't tell him about the whole, like, the copyright strike thing, because I'm like, all right, I'm not going to sour my chances. Sorry, it's a long story. But long story short, I talked to him, and then he's like, oh, and if you want to go inside the Polaris booth, which was like, oh, super VIP, nice, whatever. I go in there, hang out with the people in there, and then like everyone who was anyone at the time was there, and then like I was just sweating bullets all the time because I'm like, bro, like literally, to give you an example, there's JonTron, there's Markiplier, there's Angry Joe, and then they're all just there, and I'm like, so there were so many people there. Anyways, go back to the hotel room. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just like falling asleep. I get a phone call. It's Farid. I'm like, Farid, what the, like, hello, Farid? Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on? It's like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow morning? I'm like, I'm going back to the PAX. Like, what's up? It's like, okay, first thing in the morning, meet me at the Polaris booth. First thing in the morning at PAX. I'm like, all right, man. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. And then I go back to sleep. The next day, I go to it, I find Farid, and it's like, all right, it's like, hey, HMK, walk and talk. And I'm like, all right, man, we're walking and talking, right? So then he goes over what Polaris is, what Polaris stands for, what Polaris, Polaris is super inclusive, blah, 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 blah. And then they say that, when it comes to Polaris, they recruit people they feel would, exemplify the Polaris brands in terms of personality and not exactly in terms of content numbers specifically. But then when they have that person under their umbrella that has that personality, they can easily mold and not mold, but help exemplify, or I should say, like, what's the word I'm looking for, to make something bigger, like not expand. Oh. No, like vibrate their influence, like
broaden.
Broaden, yeah, kind of like that. You guys like if I were to speak into a megaphone, Polaris is my megaphone. That's the allegory I'm trying to
project it.
Project, kind of like, there's another word. It's gonna come to me later in the stream, I promise. But so then at the end of the thing, he's like, so we feel that you exemplify that personality and talent. How would you like to join Polaris? And I'm like, what? And like, I don't know what to say. And then he puts out his hand, he's like, say yes. And I'm like, so then I shake his hand, gets the contract at the day after, and the contract was just like, whoa. And then I signed the contract. Then I let Farid know. I'm like, hey, listen, Farid. So my channel got 2 strikes literally a month before I came here. Is that going to be a problem? And it's like, oh no, that's not a problem whatsoever. Don't worry about it, man. And then so I got signed to Polaris literally a month after I got those 2 strikes. No monetization. 6 months roll by, and while I'm with Polaris, my numbers blow up. But I never saw any money from that. When those 6 months were over and the strikes went away, and I started getting the money from the Polaris contract, from the numbers, I realized, wow, I can do this for a living. And that's the end of the story. Sorry if it took a lot longer, but like there's a lot of like.
No, that was good.
I
love hearing that.
We've all been enlightened now.
No.
So the question I have, because most of the people that start a YouTube channel and then like once they start getting to like that 10,000-20,000 subscriber mark, that's when you're just flooded with emails from all of these different people wanting to partner.
Ooh, you gotta be careful.
I would say like 99% of them. This isn't a joke. Like every day you'll get more people most of them will probably be from different companies. They might be from the same company, but it's the same copy and paste nonsense. And the horror stories that you can go and read about some of them is like, a lot of them will take like anywhere from like 50 to 75% of your earnings, and in return they say like, oh, we'll help you, we'll promote you, and we'll do this and blah blah blah. But the problem is where they send it out to everyone, and it's people that aren't very informed. They're like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna partner with me, they're gonna help me. So they have like sometimes dozens or 100 or more people that are partnered with them, and yeah, they'll share your thing on Twitter, but it's like, it's just one share when they're also sharing like dozens of other people. So, and like one tweet isn't going to help you. You need a partner who's actually going to be there for you and help you, whether it's with figuring out like just your brand in general, getting like a logo, banner, merch designs and everything together to let you start making even more money from people that are watching your videos that want to support you.
Speaking of money, we have a super chat.
Oh!
Laurelian sheep.
Sheep.
Thank
yeah.
you!
Woo, woo, I shouldn't be
Thank
here.
you.
I'm on the clock, laugh out loud. Thank
We're
you,
awesome. That is
Laurelian
like a
sheep.
Hi,
Yeah.
Tano.
So, I have never partnered with any of these people that give me emails, because I always hear people, even whenever the Chamber of Sages was active, I don't want to say who of them, because I don't want to mess up anyone's monetization or anything, but I've heard some horror stories from some of the people in there, and then I've heard horror stories from a bunch of other people that are like, yeah, they take like 50% or 25%, but then it takes like a week for them to even reply to me. They don't help at all. I can't wait until the contract expires. That way I can get the money that I earn, and instead of just giving it to someone else for nothing. So how, because you talk about your experience and it's positive. I remember even seeing tweets from you with some of your other like get-togethers at conventions with, it's the Polaris crew, we're getting together, it's gonna be awesome. Right. So it sounds like you had like an extremely good experience with yours.
I have nothing but good things to say about Polaris, honestly. Back when it was known as Polaris and stuff. So like, to add on to the horror stories of what you were saying, for those who are confused about how, they send out hundreds of emails to aspiring content creators or content creators on the lower side of the spectrum when it comes to numbers and revenue and whatever. The reason why they do that is because they look to partner tons of content creators in batches, so that when let's say they partner 100 people, even though each individual content creator within those 100 don't make a lot of money, they'll make a lot of money when they're grouped together in groups of 100 or groups of 500. That's their money plan and stuff. And then you gotta be careful for those types of emails and partnership programs, MCNs. But Polaris, I've had nothing but good things to say about Polaris, because Polaris, not only they helped me so much, they treated me very well. They answered my emails. Holy shit. And they just treated me like I was some sort of celebrity and stuff, And it's to this day where I'm like, bro, I'm just making videos on YouTube, man. Like, why am I here? Like, so, it's that really big humbling factor where I do videos on YouTube, yet here I am having dinner at Disneyland with all these other content creators, and the food here is like 5-star. Like, no, you guys don't understand. The first year I got partnered with Polaris, I went to E3 that year, and then after E3, they took all the Polaris people and we went to Disneyland.
Wow.
And you don't, man. When I just say Disneyland, that's not even half the story. Went to Disneyland, and you know how people have like the VIP packages, and they had the fast pass packages and stuff. Nah, we had something beyond that where I'm just like, yo, they can do this? Like, so we got there and we were there's 40 of us and we were put in groups of 10, and each group had a Disney a Disneyland liaison, right? So then this is what happened. She has us with me, and then she looks at everybody. It's like, okay, so how many rides does everyone want to go to? And then we're like, we just look at each other. I'm like, all of them? And then she's like, oh, that's no problem. I'm like, huh? How? So we go through Disneyland. We literally go around the entirety of Disneyland, and she's like, you guys want to go on this ride? I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, dope. I mean, I love. What was it? The Splash Mountain. It's like, yeah, I'll love to go.
Yes.
I love Splash Mountain, right? We went. This is what happened. We went through the exit of the ride to get the ride itself, thus skipping everybody, right? So then we're at the ride from the other side where people get off of. We're getting on the ride through the area where people get off of, right? And as soon as we get there, the lady goes to the guy running the ride, and then he's about to let the other group in. She's like, wait, stop. I need these guys to get in first, right? And then it's like, all right, I'm sorry, these guys get in first. We sat down, and then all the people on the regular side just gave us the dirtiest looks. They were like, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And then the funniest story, I'm not gonna say who said it. I'm not. No. I don't know if I can say this. No. It's too raunchy. Jesse, what is this stream rated?
No. We try to keep it PG, especially
okay,
with.
I am definitely not saying this story.
Oh God.
After midnight.
Yeah. So then we get into the ride, and then they give us the dirtiest look. And as we're going off into the ride, I'm like, sorry, I didn't know. And then we go off on the ride, and we literally did that for all of the rides in Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So that's one thing. And then every time there's an event, like we go to PAX East or E3 and stuff, there's always a players party, and it's fun because it's always a players party at PAX East at this one pizza parlor where we go to a pizza parlor and it's rented out for us, unlimited booze, unlimited brownies, unlimited pizza.
Brownies.
Yeah, unlimited brownies, pizza, and booze. And every TV has a different video game setup. So I'm just there talking with Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and beating their ass in oh my god, sorry, and beating them in Smash Brothers. And I'm just like zooming all over the place and stuff. I woke up with the worst hangover the day afterwards, but it was worth it. So Polaris treated me too well. And this is just the outside parts of content creation where they just make you feel good as a content creator. Mm-hmm. But they also help me a lot with my numbers, my reach, and strategies on how I should make my videos, how I should structure my videos, and how I should make the thumbnail and what I should put into the metadata and stuff, which really helps when it comes to the Google algorithm and search priority and stuff. And just, nothing but good things, man. Nothing but good things.
Glad.
Man. It's because of them. It's because of them I got to meet Tetsuya Nomura.
I heard that story.
Yes.
Lucky you, man. Man, I'd be like, arigato gozaimasu the entire time.
So, a couple more. I wanted to...
Hey everyone, it's me again, 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐿. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the 𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐺𝐺𝐶 channel, please consider purchasing a 𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐺𝐺𝐶 t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐺𝐺𝐶, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐺𝐺𝐶, and much, much more.